This is Abe Friedhanser from Awards Watch, and I'm so thrilled to be speaking with Tim Blake Nelson about his work in 95 Senses. How are you, Tim?
I'm great. It was lovely to be talking with you about this wonderful short.
How did you first find out about it and what appealed to you?
I was contacted by Miles Romney on behalf of Jared and Jerusha Hess, asking if I would voice a short. And given that provenance, especially Jared and Jerusha, I didn't really even need to read it. I knew that I was going to do it because I so admire them as filmmakers. Then I read it and uh, knew that it was going to be something extraordinary if I just could do my part.
Were you familiar with their work, and is this what you expected based on that reputation?
No, it certainly wasn't what I expected, given what they've done. Nacho Libre and Napoleon Dynamite, their body of work didn't suggest they would do this very gently polemical, issue-oriented animated short. And it's polemical in all the right ways. Usually that's a pejorative, but this makes its argument really, really well, elegantly and delicately. And no, that's not what I expected, but that's who they are. They're polymorphs in a certain way. They can do anything, and they're genuine and generous filmmakers.
Why do you think they wanted you for this role?
I'm not sure. I mean, I guess they thought, well, he can do a hick voices. I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I'm just lucky they asked. Yeah, incredibly lucky they asked.
Did you find taking on this part challenging to just relate to this experience of this man?
Yeah, I mean, I guess what was most challenging was living up the to how lucid and poetic and tender the text is, especially when juxtaposed with what the guy is about to face as you learn over the course of the film. And I just wanted to find a frankness and an honesty within that, while also achieving the tenderness of the poetry of the dialogue. And it really is quite poetic, almost heightened, sneakily heightened dialogue. Um, um, and making it seem like it's being thought up in the moment and truly experienced, when all you have is your voice to lend to the animation, is its own kind of challenge, and I was eager to take that on.
I know you've done a good amount of voice work, at least in the past couple of years. Do you find that that requires a very different approach from live action?
It does, and I went to one of those ridiculously exhaustive training programs. I was in an actor training program for 4 years after college, and um, luckily, a lot of that involved taking the constituent parts of what a performance is, and separating them from one another. So we had voice classes and we had mask classes. And in the mask class, you worked without any sound often. And in the voice classes, and speech classes, you depended entirely on your voice. And the training that I had in that regard, I think, while never intending, the school wasn't trying to train us to do voices in animation. It was training us to it was taking us apart to put us back together. But in that taking us apart and training the constituent parts of what a performance is, it developed acuities in those parts. And so I felt, I feel grateful to some pretty amazing teachers I had. This guy, Robert Williams, woman named Nancy Lane, woman named Liz Smith, Tim Monick. I mean, we had, I've had some extraordinary teachers.
How does it feel to have the film be nominated for an Oscar? And are you aware of the other films in the race and sort of more into the
Yeah,
shorts categories this year?
it's extraordinary. I'm just it's obviously delightful to be in something that's nominated. So yeah, I'm delighted, but mostly for the animators and for Jared and Jerusha and the people at Mast. This was a not-for-profit animated short. And the animators involved put a huge amount of time and care into the work. And that's another beautiful aspect of this movie, is that it deals with the five human senses while alluding to 95 others. And for each sense, a different animation team came in to do the visual work. And that's, to me, really exciting. And that, gave an added challenge of being the voice that tries to make them cohere even while they're disparate in style.
I know you've also worked with filmmakers who are siblings before. Was it a different experience working with filmmakers who are husband and wife?
I think it's great. I love the family affair. And my son and I, Henry Nelson, have a movie that we made together that's opening in theaters this Friday called Asleep in My Palm. And Fran and Joel are now making movies together, and Ethan and Trish. So I feel like I've learned from the best, and Jared and Jerusha are yet another example of that.
Well, Tim, thank you so much for taking some time today. I wish you plenty of luck at the Oscars with this film and especially with your son's film as well.
Thank you very much.